Well, now we are going to shed light on the Transfiguration project that is taking place in St. Catherine in Sinai, South Sinai, and also we are going to talk about tourism in Egypt and the religious tourism in Egypt. Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phone Dr. Yahia Abdel, tourism expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Well, sir, the government is pressing forward with the Great Transfiguration project in Sinai, which promises a revamp the St. Catherine's into a religious touristic destination. Could you tell us more about this project?
Well, actually, this is one of the great sites, respected and venerated, by monotheist religions, worldwide, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, because this is the location where Prophet Moses, were received, the Ten Commandments at the Mount Sinai, and then later it became a pilgrimage location, and then, centuries ago, the same Catholic monastery has been developed by the Greeks and Romans for Christian, pilgrimage to go and worship. So this is again one of the sites that has been developed in conjunction with the Holy Family Tour and itinerary in Egypt, because the international visitors who like to come for spiritual and for religious and for monasteristic, approaches, to Egypt, so they like to come to the St. Catherine Monastery and check, its library, its heritage. It's very prestigious and well respected worldwide.
So, Dr. Abdel, could you tell us what does explain to our viewers what does the area look like, and also what are the plans for the area to look like after the project or the completion of the project?
Actually, 2 years ago, President Al-Fatah Sisi instructed, the ministers of tourism, environment, construction, to develop the area to be hospitable and, receive, have accommodations, because I know from my friends, the tour guides, that there is hundreds of thousands of visitors who like to come and spend 1 or 2 nights in the location, but there was not, enough accommodation and hotel rooms for them. So yes, this is a major project to make the area hospitable and offer services for pilgrims, who come from worldwide corners to enjoy the spiritual, atmosphere and ambience of the St. Catherine Monastery and Mount Sinai.
Yes, Dr. Abdel, the project has long been demanded by investors and Sinai residents to promote religious tourism and make optimal use of the natural resources in St. Catherine area. So could you give us your insight concerning this?
Well, really, I visited the monastery, about some time ago, and there is Arab tribes who live in the vicinity, and they take care, cater, for the visitors, and they have camel rides for them, because not everyone can climb the Mount Sinai, and especially, when the winter it becomes freezing and snowing sometimes. So the whole area is environmentally, it has it, local, flora and fauna, which is very attractive for visitors who come from faraway locations worldwide. But with the new development that's taking place over there, this is going to be a prime location for spiritual and, hospice, visitors worldwide.
Yes, Dr. Abdel, the project includes building a road network linking the area with the South Sinai tourist destinations like Sharm el-Sheikh and Dahab. So could you give us an idea about this?
Well, really, when I visited 20 years ago, I was in Taba and Weba, and then we drove directly to St. Catherine and Mount Sinai. So now there's a network, an excellent network of roads that, linking, the site, the religious site, to the Red Sea ports of Taba and Weba, Dahab, Ras Muhammad, and Sharm el-Sheikh in the south. So this is going to make it accessible for visitors who come to the resort, and as well for spiritual visitors and pilgrims who like to come to visit the monastery with its unique library, like manuscripts. It's so attractive and so authentic. So there's going to be an access between the monastery, which is in the heart of Sinai, and the Red Sea resorts, stretching all the way from Taba up to Dahab, Nuweiba, and Shamsh.
Yes, Dr. Abdel Kader, what about when this project is completed, what would it add to the map of tourism in Egypt?
Well, really, this is a great, like asset to this and tourism because, we have like many attractions now, like the Holy Family Tour, like in the summertime, starting like June, July. And then we have, like the St. Catherine and the Mount Sinai as a religious and spiritual site for holistic, like visitors worldwide. And then as well, we have, like visitors who come to visit, like the Islamic sites, like in Cairo, Lazar, Hussein, and go sometimes to locations in Alexandria and Upper Egypt, Mania, and Fayoum. So really we have an excellent site for religious tourism and holistic tourism and spiritual tourism that covers, many areas as we have seen. So this is going to be an excellent, especially it's going to be the airport now is like in business.
Yes.
So that means we can receive charter flights directly or go to St. Catherine, Mount Sinai, and, do the tours like for 2 or 3 nights.
Yes, so Dr. Abdel Kader, how can the state and especially the Ministry of Tourism market for such a great project in order to attract tourists to this site?
Well, now, like the ministry, and Mr. Ahmed Isa, the Minister of Tourism and Security, he has a very solid strategy to promote Egyptian attractions. And especially, as you know, this year we're celebrating the bicentennial of Francois Champollion deciphering, like the hieroglyphics in 1822. As well as on November 4th, we're going to have King Tut's centennial, like 100 years of discovering the tomb in the Valley of the Kings. So there is lots of vicinities and attractions, and very close in Sharm el-Sheikh in November, Egypt will be hosting the COP27, the Climate Change Worldwide Conference. So Mount Sinai really has been visited throughout centuries, but now with the development of lodging facilities, of catering facilities, of tour guides, of locations, attractions and airports, and the motorways that will link the whole Sinai to the Red Sea Resort. This is going to be a great boost for Egyptian travel, which the ministry is promoting now on digital promotions and Zoom presentations.
Yes, you've just mentioned, Dr. Abdel Kader, the COP27 Climate Change Conference that Egypt is about to host next November in Sharm el-Sheikh city. So how do you see also the importance of this conference in promoting for this project in St. Catherine's?
Well, really, Sharm el-Sheikh has been, like marketed as an international hub for holding meetings, exhibitions, incentives, and conferences. So really, this has been a great work for Egyptian government, like to invite the COP27, which is a global event. We are going to be receiving over 15,000, like professionals, environmentalists, media, like UN representatives and like authorities on environment and climate change. So this is a great opportunity to promote Egypt and its resorts, and as well as we just this week, President Abdel al-Sisi was joined by Arab kings and ministers and presidents who joined the grand opening of the Alamein Luxury Resort. This is a great landmark for Egypt, and it's a prime location on the Mediterranean. Again, just a few hours ago, CNN, the travel site, marked Egypt as one of the top 12 destinations worldwide that it have extra bookings, like for the next fall, all the way from September up to the end of this year, inshallah. We've been marked as a top destination among 12 destinations worldwide. So this is great news for Egyptian people.
Yes, Dr. Abdel Kader, Egypt is the cradle of religions and cradle of civilization, yet the tourism, religious tourism in Egypt specifically may face some challenges. Could you tell us your insight concerning this?
Well, really, like Egypt, like throughout, pharaonic times, like they have been like saying, we think of Akhenaten as one of the earliest monotheists, like he was ancient Egyptian and pharaonic. And then, like Egypt was the cradle for Judaism, for Christianity, for Islam as well. And that's why we have many sects who live peacefully, like and friendly in Egypt, that they come now and live. And we have like some new sects who go in the Hussein area, and hold their festivals and celebrations. So Egypt is very tolerant throughout history, and that's why we have many large religious groups who like to come and have their own shrines, have own celebrations and rites, and that's why the Holy Family tours and itinerary and the Mount Sinai and St. Catherine Monastery are some of these landmarks that visitors worldwide they like to come and visit and tour.
Dr. Abdel Kader, now Egypt is also reviving the path of the Holy Family here in Egypt. Also with this project in St. Catherine, how do you see President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's directives to revive and to establish these projects in order to boost the religious tourism in Egypt?
Well, actually, for the past 10 years, throughout different ministers, they've been working on developing the route and itinerary for the whole family refuge from Palestine up to Egypt and the Delta, going up all the way to the Nile and Upper Egypt and Mania and Asyut. So there are 25 locations, sites have been recognized, and Egypt invested, major, budgets to make it hospitable and affordable to visitors worldwide, especially the itinerary, was initiated in the summer. And this is, a unique season in the Egyptian climate, So really, the facility has been nearly done, and that's why we started visiting, receiving visitors from different locations worldwide. I met visitors from India, from Indonesia, and they told me you have heritage in Egypt. I told them what heritage. They say, well, we like to come for the itinerary and be in the steps of the Holy Family that stayed in Egypt for maybe 3 to 4 years.
Yes, also the path of the Holy Family demanded the restoration of the many places or many stations that the Holy Family have stopped in.
That's true. And the itinerary has been recognized. And I remember former Minister of Tourism, he visited the Pope, in Francis, in the Vatican, and he invited, Christians, of different denominations to come to Egypt and visit, and tour be in the footsteps of the Holy Family and its itinerary in Egypt to protect, Jesus and the Holy Family from the tyranny that was taking place, and they were changing it.
Yes, yes. So, Dr. Abdel Kader, now St. Catherine, what would the being near to or not far away from Sharm el-Sheikh or Dahab, which is it's places or cities that are full of tourists, and especially the beach tourism in Egypt. What being very near and or not far away from Sharm el-Sheikh, which is crowded with tourists here in Egypt, would add to the project in St. Catherine?
Yes, definitely. Like myself, when I was at the College of Tourism, I went from Taba to Weva, and we drove 3 hours up to St. Catherine, Mount Sinai. So really, it is accessible. Especially now, we have an airport which is operative, and as well as we have an excellent network of roads. From Egypt, there are highways that go central Sinai accessibly. You can reach, like the Aqaba, the Gulf Aqaba in the Red Sea. So visitors, like to Ras Muhammad, to Gad, to Weba, to Sharm el-Sheikh, they can, of course, like make like a day tour, like drive all the way up to St. Catherine and, like enjoy, like a spiritual atmosphere and ambience. And in the evening, after touring the monastery, climbing Mount Sinai, especially like spending the night over there. Some use camels in like this ride because it's not easy, and then they come back to their, resort destination in Dahab, Nuweiba, Sharm el-Sheikh, and Ras Muhammad as well.
Yes, Dr. Abdel Kader, how can such a project in St. Catherine be carried out without affecting or changing the nature of the place and the spiritual environment there?
Well, like the instructions and directives well implicit that they will develop the area in such a way is going to reflect, like the spiritual atmosphere. And it's not, like the construction is going to be like modern, ultra-modern. It's going to combine and blend with the environment and surroundings and make it, like compatible. And that's why the Ministry of Housing and other authorities over there have been developing the facilities, the hotels, the meeting centers, the facilities, the recreation areas, to be developed in such a way that it blends and complements and, like enhances the spiritual and holistic value of Mount Sinai as it is, like respected and venerated by different, like religions and belief. Exactly.
Yes. I thank you very much, sir, for your valuable information. Thank you for your time. Dr. Yahia Abdel Kader, tourism expert. I really have the pleasure to have this phone with you. Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, Cairo Local Time. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.